Liverpool Fan in Japan.
Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. I'm going to go through today the reason why five very popular players in the Liverpool squad don't play regularly under Arne Slot. We're going to talk about Harvey, Elliott, Quansah, Wataru, Endo, Darwin, Nunez, and Federico Chiesa. So let's get into it. And let's start first and foremost with Harvey Elliott, who should be in and around the squad and making more appearances, especially because Jurgen Klopp mentioned his biggest regret in his time in Liverpool is the fact that he didn't give Harvey Elliott more minutes. We've seen him come on. We've seen him make an impact. He's a creative little terrier. I love the techers on Harvey Elliott. He's super popular and a super nice lad as well. But let's look on the tactics board why Harvey Elliott is not getting as many minutes as we would have liked as fans. Contrary to popular opinion, I actually think Arne Slot does rate Harvey Elliott, but there's three reasons I think Elliott doesn't get many minutes on the pitch. So if you look at our first string 11, right, and you look at the players in the team, some big issues appear in an Arne Slot system and way of thinking, especially when you play Harvey Elliott. And the three names that come to mind are Mo Salah, Dominic Szoboszlai, and Alexis McAllister. Okay, so if you were to look at Liverpool's starting 11, so we're going to go with Gravenberch here. We're going to, actually, he's gone that side, right? We're going to go with Maka on this side, McAllister, Alexis Majestic McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai, and probably first choice is Diogo Jota for now, right? We're going to look at why Nunez, Quansah, Endo, Elliott, and Chiesa don't play. Now, the first biggest issue in this particular lineup is where does Harvey Elliott play? He can only really play in the Szoboszlai or this Klopp Szoboszlai role or this Szoboszlai role or the Salah position. Now, he's never ever going to get ahead of Mo Salah as a starting right winger, even though there is an argument that Harvey Elliott is more creative in time that he's on the pitch than Salah or Szoboszlai. But that statistic is somewhat skewed by the fact that he comes on when opposition are tiring. He comes on when opposition are sitting back. He gets more time on the ball and he can penetrate. And he would have had the benefit of seeing the match play out, seeing the positions the opposition take. And the staff, Sipka Holshoff and Arne Slot, would have given Elliott the instructions to really penetrate and make a difference in the key areas from the narrative of the game, how they can see the game transitioning. So the first issue is he's not going to get ahead of Salah on the right wing. He also doesn't have the pace of Salah, although he probably has a better technical shot and a better right-footed shot as well. And maybe even better in the air than Mo Salah, but that's negligible because they're both midgets and they don't score with their head very much. Now, Dominic Szoboszlai. Elliott is a more creative player than Dominic Szoboszlai, but the Szoboszlai interview that he just had with Sky Sports is very telling in the way that he's knackered, he's shattered, and that may suggest, why don't you play Elliott in front of him? But the issue is, Arne Slot pushes into a 4-2-4 press with almost Szoboszlai leading the press, okay? And his intensity in the sprint allows Szoboszlai to lead the press. You have that inverted kind of W formation like this, Salah and Jota second line, and Szoboszlai leading the press. It's his acceleration that allows Szoboszlai to press with intensity on the opposition, right? To get in their face and get the challenge in. But it's also the intensity in positional play that gets him back onto the point of the diamond into midfield, gets him back in position in the half space to cover for Mo Salah. Because Mo Salah, even though he can track back on occasion, you saw him give away the foul against Leicester, right, when he tried to track back. He is not the most enthusiastic tracking back, even though he's professional and will do it. He's not the most quick in getting back into position. And even when he's in position, he doesn't win the ball that much. He does on occasion win the ball and we break from there. He's a great creative playmaker from deep, but his intensity in getting back and helping out and even effectiveness isn't so effective. So Szoboszlai is the extra man in the 4-2-4 press, and he's the extra man in midfield as well when you need to congest the midfield. He's always in there challenging and always closing off the passing lanes. And when the other one transitions higher, he can intelligently sit deep as well, and he's more effective in that position than Harvey Elliott sitting deep because he can contest the aerial duels if the ball is pinged into this third, playing off on second boards as well. So Arne Slot puts a lot of emphasis in tactical position and positional dominance, of which Szoboszlai has a key effect in contributing to the press, in making an extra man in midfield, in covering the right-hand side, in overlapping and underlapping, in positional play all over. He's got the physicality, he's got the pace, and he's got the stamina to do it throughout. Now, when you have a lead as well, you almost don't want to take off a positional blocker, an acceleration maestro, because Szoboszlai can still do it in the 90th minute for someone who may not be as effective in the press. Now, that's somewhat deceiving because if you look at Elliott's statistics, he almost ranks just as highly as Szoboszlai and higher than Salah in intense presses, intense sprints, and take-ons and retrievals of the ball. But once again, that is somewhat skewed when the narrative is that he comes on in the last 20 minutes of games when the opposition are tired, and he has a clear instruction onto where to press and where to receive the ball as well. So Harvey Elliott has a problem in the players he's looking to replace, right? He's not fast enough to be an out-and-out right winger. He's amazing in the cup matches, but he is the senior player in the cup matches as well. But that's not a bad thing. He can be an effective last 20, 30-minute role. When you have like a Szoboszlai tiring them out, and when you need the creativity to open them up, you bring on Elliott for Szoboszlai and Elliott for Salah, and that's all good. The other problem, and another one of our players we're going to talk about has the same issue, is that we needed Mohamed Salah to sign the new contract, of which he has signed a new 2-year contract, and now he's expendable in terms of being substituted. You don't want to get his irk or piss him off by substituting him early for Elliott, even though he's a fan of Elliott. Salah wants to play every game, and to give yourself the best possible chance of him extending, you keep him happy, and he is a goal scorer and assister and a big game player. Up until the final minute, he's super ultra competitive, is Salah. And even though his statistics in terms of assists and goals are sky high this season, Salah should have actually had more assists because of the quality of his rainbow flick ball, his outside Trivela ball, the balls across the face of the goal. Salah should have had more assists if his teammates upped the ante in finishing them off, right? So Salah is better than Elliott. There's no doubt about that. But Elliott is amazing still and has a big role to play. He loves Liverpool and he wants to stay at Liverpool. He rejected Real Madrid for Liverpool. Didn't want to meet with Sergio Ramos when they tried to tempt him. Why would you want to be tempted by that Greece ball? Because obviously Salah got injured by Sergio Ramos in Champions League final. And Szoboszlai is a functions player, a hard-working pressing 10 who overloads the attack and overloads the midfield, is defensively responsible and has technical attributes, even though on the ball he is a little bit lackluster this season and lacking something somewhat. But he's still a Hungarian workhorse and he's going to be a key player for many, many seasons. Will Harvey Elliott go? No, he won't, because he's a wonder kid at the youngest age. And imagine where Salah was. Where was Mohamed Salah at Harvey Elliott's age? I don't know. Was he still at Basel? Was he at Chelsea? That kind of thing. It must have been early in his career. Harvey Elliott has a lot of chapters left to right in his Liverpool career, but it will be as a substitute predominantly until we get the roaming destroyers like a Carlos Baleba in the midfield who can cover for the additional work that Szoboszlai is doing in the 10 position. Only if you had a Gravenberch and a Baleba at the base can I imagine Elliott playing in 10 more. And now that Salah signed a new contract, I think he will come off earlier for Harvey Elliott on occasion. The other conundrum is Maka as well, because Maka and Elliott are relatively short, and against the long ball playing team, aerial dominance will be very important. And Szoboszlai does actually pick up the slack in aerial duels, even though Harvey Elliott's and the aerial stats aren't bad. They are actually equivalent to Szoboszlai, but physicality does play its part as well. Gravenberch will be just fine, which is why he's in the half-back, centre-back position, because he wins aerial duels as well. Okay, so there is Harvey Elliott. I think he'll stay, have a more prominent role next season if we signed an all-action midfielder. Now we look at Jarell Quansah next. The biggest issue for Jarell Quansah, even though he's been played at right back, is he had a patch of form in Jurgen Klopp's team where everyone thought, oh my God, the next wonder kid, the next stalwart, the next Van Dijk. He's not a Van Dijk. He can't ping the ball from left to right and right to left from the back like a Van Dijk. Hardly any centre-back in history can, except for Mihailovic, possibly. Stones is pretty good, but more of a short ball playing centre-back, similar to Rio Ferdinand as well. The sad truth is Konate is just better than Quansah in every single attribute except from being homegrown. Konate is better aerially. He's got more pace. He's got more agility on the turn. Better last-ditch tackles. Is comfortable on the ball as well. Quansah does his little drag-back thing. Can step into midfield. Can overlap around the outside. In fact, Quansah actually probably is better than Konate running around the outside as a fullback, which is why he's been tested at fullback. But he does have a shaky moment. He's not as committed, going 100% gung-ho into it if he doesn't think he can win it. He does have that slight hesitation as well. Konate is more mature, but more importantly as well, we have a formidable partnership in Van Dijk and Konate. Partnerships at the back are very, very important for communication and relationship building. And two other things fall into play with Konate versus Quansah in a way that it's a World Cup year and Konate is not guaranteed a centre-back spot, right? With Upamecano almost being first choice and all the other super talented French centre-backs as well. You're looking at William Saliba. You're looking at Lenny Yoro. You're looking at the two brothers, one at AC Milan, one formerly at Bayern Munich. Looking at Pavard as well. It's hard to get into French national teams, so Konate is going to want to keep his place to make his stake and claim for that France centre-back position. And also, we need Konate to sign new contracts. It's the same issue as Salah as well. But at the end of the day, Konate is just better than Quansah at everything, and Slot doesn't trust Quansah completely. How high is Quansah's ceiling? Even when he had that patch of form and Klopp, and I loved his performances in those back-to-back runs, Quansah, I think, is a slight level below even Joe Gomez at his prime, because Joe Gomez's consistency of play in a Premier League winning team against Van Dijk, and a little bit unfair because Quansah's very, very young, but I think Quansah's reading of the game and agility is slightly below par in terms of the highest of high wonder kids, right? Adina Hodgson as well probably has more potential than a Quansah for the fact that he's an absolute baller, two-footed, can roam into midfield, and his playing from the back is immense. Quansah has a future at Liverpool. He's solid and dependable, but he's almost like a better version of Martin Kelly. Big, broad-shouldered, defensively able, decent in the air, but not dominant in the air. And that's a big issue considering how big he is. So Quansah, I think, is, if he gets a super good offer, Slot might be potentially, keen to sell, but he's homegrown. He's one of our own. And yeah, why not? Quansah can make up the squad because he deserves it. He deserves that place, especially if Trent goes. Quansah needs to be there as well, and that's another point because Trent can be defensively liable sometimes. Szoboszlai need to cover. It's not something you'd have uttermost confidence in a right-sided defensive side of Elliott and Trent, right? So there's another thing against Elliott, but Quansah can fill in that gap behind Conor Bradley. And Joe Gomez, obviously with injury doubts, hopefully stays as third choice, second choice along the back line. So that's the issue with Joe Quansah. When he was out of the team, we just won and didn't look back. And look, we've won the Premier League, so Arne Slot was proven right with the defensive pairing, Van Dijk and Konate. Next, we go on to Wataru, Man Mountain, Endo. So, okay, I want to say there are preconceived notions. He's an older player, a reliable, steady Eddie, and until you see him on the pitch and what he can do closing out a match, right? When you look at the team sheet, when you look at your assets, who you can sell to raise up some finance or free up some wage budget, Wataru Endo sticks out like a sore thumb. Japanese, older, right? And in terms of a lateral ball movement, which Slot really, really puts a big emphasis on being able to bring the ball laterally. Gravenberch does it amazingly. Szoboszlai wonders and puts it on there. Now, Endo can play all three positions. He starts at the base, but he can go into the 8. He can play progressive penetrating balls, right? That's a ball actually we've missed a lot, the penetrating ball to the 8, because we're playing 2 in midfield to hold as well, which is another reason maybe Endo doesn't get the nod, because we don't really play into progressed 8 at the moment. We play into the whips and into the fullbacks under Arne Slot's system. But as the season's gone on and Endo committed in his vlog, in Japanese vlog, exclusive paid content as well, he said that he's willing to fight for his place and will prove his credentials and worth. And as the season's gone on, Arne Slot has, maybe reluctantly, but forcibly, put on Endo to close out the matches. And every time Endo's on the pitch in a winning position, we end up with the 3 points, right? Only one team, Ipswich, have scored when Endo's come on in the final few minutes. Endo has proven his worth. There's no resale value particularly. He's an ultra professional. He's the Asian James Milner of the modern generation. He can close up shop. He can also contribute in attacking third if Slot lets him off the leash. He allows the fullbacks to bomb on as well. He defensively covers the whips. He's intelligent in terms of winning the foul. Robertson dive in, I'll cover you, win the foul, and the game is over. Endo has a part to play next season, and we have the tour in Japan as well. So I'd be super surprised to see Wataru Endo sold, and I'd be super sad. Sabashi, Kanashi. Sabashi means lonely. Kanashi means sadness. So yeah, I think Endo stays, but I don't think he has a big role as a starter unless it's at centre back, because of the fact that Arne Slot wants players comfortable getting the ball under possession and playing it laterally, playing the one-touch game. Endo's one-touch game is decent, but he's not a technical baller like Namaka and Gravenberch. And even Slot put some shade on Trent not being the one-touch maestro, lateral moving ball player. He doesn't want a quarterback in the central defensive midfield position. He doesn't want a Pirlo. He doesn't want an Alonso. He wants someone who can carry the ball, turn with the ball. Maka is progressing through the ball with dribble as well. It's not something Trent can do. It's not something Endo can do as well. So look for an all-action, versatile midfielder and not a dedicated central defensive midfielder, which is why I don't think we go back for Zubimendi either. He hasn't committed to Arsenal. The Spanish team's in form. We don't have a tempo maestro at the back. McAllister can do that as well as carry the ball as well. Zubimendi can't carry the ball. And to some extent, neither can Wataru Endo, right? So that's why he doesn't play, but he will be an important squad player and to get us through the cup competitions with leadership and respect and dominance as well. Well respected. Wataru Endo stays. So we've done Harvey Elliott, we've done Jerome Quansah, we've done Wataru, Man Mountain Endo as well. Let's look at Fede Chiesa. So, and that actually, just to say that, Harvey Elliott also had an opportunity early season, but injuries put a stop to his potential stake for claim. And it does seem when you're out of the team with injuries, it's incredibly hard to get back in. And that's something we can levy at Federico Chiesa as well. When Harvey Elliott was injured, that was his big opportunity gone, unfortunately. And in that Plymouth match, where in the absence of Curtis Jones, he needed to turn it on, we didn't have a midfield, so Harvey Elliott was nullified, and it was just it was a shambles all around. We relied too much on Curtis Jones, and he wasn't fit for purpose for that particular match. So Fede Chiesa comes in injured on the back of a bad injury, right? But he's proven, he's quality. He's a Mo Salah backup. And for the same reason that Harvey Elliott can't get in front of Mo Salah, Federico Chiesa can't get in front of Mo Salah as well. We need him to sign a contract. Federico Chiesa also isn't as prominent as tracking back and as effective as tracking back as Dominic Szoboszlai. He doesn't play in that position anyway. He can play on the left, but left is overloaded. Lucho Diaz and Cody Gakpo came to the fore and helped us win this title this season. Darwin Nunez likes to play on the left. Diogo Jota likes to play on the left as well. Curtis Jones plays on the left if he's a winger or the number 8 position and doesn't really play on the right wing position. So Federico Chiesa was never going to get in on the left-hand side. He does not like playing number 9. You've got to look back into his time at Juventus, right? Even though he plugged away at the false 9 position and off the last shoulder, he likes space to run into. He likes having his head up. He likes driving in and around the box and playing, in front of the defense and beating the man and getting shot of the way. He doesn't like spinning in behind and doing the donkey's work, running into the channels. He likes to play on the whips, which means he is the dedicated Mo Salah backup replacement, but constant injuries, constant fitness doubts, building him up to speed, getting up to the rigors of the Premier League, and the fact that Mo Salah is the man in front of you, limited game minutes, and in his cameo appearances in the Cups, right? Hits and misses, nice pot shots. He's a great shooter. He's one of the best shooters in the squad alongside Diogo Jota. Shoot left foot, shoot right foot with power, different types of shots, variations, but he's not the fastest. He's got dribbling ability, but he's not the most jinky and dribbly either. He needs to play in a good systematic team that hits the 1-2s, to allow Chiesa to get into the areas to sharpshoot, to have his shots. Now, when we don't have a primary playmaker, and when Salah is the primary playmaker, then, that's even worse chances because Chiesa needs to play with Salah. But what position does he play in? In Salah's position. So unless Salah plays in the 10, because Salah's not playing 9, forget the notion of Salah ever being a number 9. He will never, ever be a top striker. He can have the odd appearance as a starting number 10, but Salah is not a striker whatsoever. I can do a whole dedicated video on that. In the same way that Trent will never be a dominant midfield player, Salah will never be a dominant striker either. So it's Mo Salah that's put paid to Federico Chiesa's chances, and the fact that he can't even make the bench is worrying and telling. But look, seniority, Trent was fit again, comes back in the squad, scores the winning goal, so Arne Slot's decision is justified. Does he have a place next season? It's on the balance. So Slot, I know for a fact, absolutely know for a fact, that he knows what Chiesa is capable of. The only reason Chiesa could stay is now that we've spent all that time building him up, he's familiar with the Premier League, familiar with his teams as well. He'll be a backup across the whole front line if we have monumental changes. So if Jota were to go, if Nunez were to go, Salah now stays. If Luis Diaz was to go, for example, I think Gakpo and Salah are the only certainties. I'd like to keep Lucho Diaz, but I don't think he's that effective. He hits in spurts, right? He hits 2 against Man United, hits 2 against Brentford. He hits 3 against Leverkusen, and then barren spell for a long time. So I don't mind Diaz staying. Just I'd run a really penetrative option if you're playing Salah on the other side. And I've mentioned that time and time again. So Chiesa stays for the AFCON. If Salah is off to the AFCON, Chiesa is the most logical replacement to start alongside Harvey Elliott. If you're looking at the kind of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain role as a replacement to get us through the AFCON period. Tim J made a good point. In a World Cup year with the AFCON there as well, you only have to release the player to one A-grade tournament, but you can't do that to a prideful international captain like Mo Salah. It would have really, really bad backlash from Egypt, from world football, from the international scene, from FIFA, and play on his mentality as well. I think you just got to let him play and hopefully we'll sign a replacement in terms of being able to cover. So Federico Chiesa and Elliott are the options for now alongside Szoboszlai on the right wing, but I'd love a Brian Mbeumo and Antoine Semenyo and Mohamed Kudus, but Kudus has the same issue AFCON, so does Semenyo. So you're looking at potentially Anthony Gordon as well, to Eberechi Eze, but slightly different players, and we will go into a dedicated transfer video soon as well. So yeah, Federico Chiesa only stays for backup to be backup for the AFCON, or we could sell him for a profit to AC Milan or the big Italian clubs who still know his capabilities in Serie A and get an outright replacement. But there will be wholesale changes up front, so he might just barely cling on. So here's Federico Chiesa. And then last but not least, certainly not least, is Darwin Nunez, who's made a big contribution by scoring winning goals in this league. There's a reason why he probably won't start now until the end of the season. But just before we get onto that, take a moment to pause. breathe. We're going to talk about Darwin Nunez here. Smash the like button. Really helps this video get seen. I mean, exponentially helps. The more likes I've had in the recent videos, you've seen 2,000 views, 3,000 views. Thank you so much. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. I note we're still on 69, that juicy 69% of subscribers watch this video, but that means 31% of you are constantly watching these videos, video upon video, on the Miyazaki Man Liverpool Fan in Japan channel and haven't subscribed yet. What are you waiting for? This is a channel of substance and abundance. We capture tactics, we have really logical, intuitive insight as well, and it's the best international Liverpool Fan in Japan community by far. I reply to everyone personally. In fact, I've had lots of questions recently around, I'm an American fan, I'd like to go for an Anfield for that Liverpool experience. Can you give me some pointers as to how to make it reality? Any question you want, talk to me in Discord. Join the Discord. We chat Liverpool 24/7. I reply to all DMs as well personally. So thank you for subscribing to this channel. Let's get above 60%, 69%, up to 70, above 70. Let's get to 75 if we can as well. Join the YouTube membership. Really, YouTube doesn't pay pennies. It's like £2 to £5, more like £2 to £3 per video, per 1,000, 2,000 views. So look, you can't even afford a cheeky chicken nugget kid set. Or you can, probably just about, but you know, I want to upgrade to cheeky Nando's or something. So really, joining the membership really makes my day absolutely happy. I'm delighted. I'm giggly like a transfer signing and the Liverpool breaking the record kind of signing. And as we talk about that, Darwin Nunez, right? Record signing. So he's played his part. He scored the goals, but I think with a heavy heart, he probably departs. I'm opponent didn't even know that rhymes, because he wants to be first choice somewhere. He fits Atletico Madrid. He fits a counter-attack playing team. Might even fit a Dortmund as well. You can't afford that as a third choice. He'd be really effective as a third choice alongside Diogo Jota. But I think he wants to be third choice. He doesn't want to be third choice. He wants to be first choice. And he's got the attributes, just can't put it together. And the system doesn't work for him at all. And he's had audition in Klopp's team and Arne Slot's team. And on those snapshots and half chances, he hasn't buried them away as much as we would have liked. And therefore have dropped some points. But he is effective in his attributes. I love the man. I love the agent of chaos. But unfortunately, I think he will go. But he'll go as a Premier League champion, winning us crucial points against Brentford, for example. The double when he came on. Harvey Elliott assisted too. There's good juice to putting Elliott on towards the end. And unfortunately, I think Darwin Nunez suffers from the same kind of systematic effect where there's no player close enough to him to put him in and around off the shoulder into goal. The midfield is too far away from the striker, especially when Szoboszlai, being the closest midfielder, has that kind of workhorse role to facilitate the whole team and let everyone perform. So with a heavy heart, Darwin Nunez does not start, hey, it rhymes again, for the rest of the season, because there is a clause where if he starts one more game, apparently, according to Ebola, Portuguese journalist, the media over there, we have to pay Benfica an additional €5 million in fees. Now, there's mixed reports here. Is it if he makes another appearance or if he makes another start? I'm more inclined to say another start, okay, which is why he may come on as a substitute. But it means Diogo Jota and Luis Diaz start in the 9th position from here on out for the final 5-6 games of the season. Darwin Nunez comes off the bench. We save €5 million towards a transfer kitty, and the rest is history. Darwin Nunez will leave as Premier League champion, as will anyone else who leaves in transfer window. They will leave as a Premier League champion. Wataru Endo is getting the Premier League winners medal. Bite no nothing when it comes to, you know, that kind of thing. Love it. Thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Darwin Nunez doesn't start. Systematic issue. He is just a casualty of the system. He needs a lot of chances funneled through him, like a Victor Gyökeres as well, and we don't build a system for him, which means the half chances he does get, he's not the most clinical, doesn't snap them up. Is what it is. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for watching the video. Miyazaki Man, Ichiban! Oh, means the best. Jane means ciao. Have a great day, everyone. Let's win the league. Big week this season. Gonna win the league. We're gonna win the league. Champione.